Hey everyone, we are down here at ICE headquarters on Macadam. 4310, as you can see right there. We've got someone up on the street holding up the sign. Got the kids down here. Here's the welcome for the vigil. Sorry. Abolish ICE. Welcome to the vigil. We are here to pray for children separated from their families. We want to bring them back together by ending the zero tolerance policy and altogether abolish ICE. So a big thing that people need to realize about this ICE building in our sanctuary city is that this ICE building is not federal property. It doesn't belong to ICE. It belongs to the city, and they are leasing it from the city. So right now we've got a mayor who is making declarations of sanctuary. We've got a city council who is backing him up, all the while knowing that this facility is actually being leased and that lease could be terminated at any point in time. Of course, there would be fees and penalties that might be incurred, but I don't think that is something that Portlanders will worry about. I think it's much more important that we don't participate in this genocide and this crime against humanity that's happening, and we end the lease that ICE has on this property. There is no reason why our city, a sanctuary city, is leasing this massive facility to ICE so that they can separate families, hold them apart indefinitely. I mean, this organization is the Gestapo. The Trump administration is literally in the midst of creating internment camps on the border. This is something that is covered. This is something that's on every news station. They are calling them tent cities. They're internment camps. That's exactly what internment camps are. They're tent cities. This organization is hunting down families, tearing them apart. This organization is holding children in cages. This organization is doing the exact same thing that the Gestapo did. And it doesn't all start big, you know? When the Gestapo started, it started with a lie. It started with an idea that grew into actions. That's how the Nazis started. It started in back rooms, people whispering back and forth, blaming the issues of society on another group of people. Back then it was the Jews. They started othering them, calling them murderers, thieves, rapists. The exact same thing Trump did to start this. And then it became a crackdown on immigrants, pushing people out. And that's exactly what is happening now. And now we've progressed to the point where we are building internment camps to hold children. What point are we going to say no? What point are we going to say stop? That's what we're doing out here. That's why people are out here, because if we can't act now, at what point should the Germans have stood up and made a choice to say no? This has to happen, and this can't repeat itself again. And the reason it repeats itself is because we don't acknowledge the fact that this is part of American history. How many thousands of Native kids never got to go home after the government separated them from their families and sent them to boarding schools? How many died and never came back? How many generations were taken? The amount of genocide committed, that's part of American history. And until we recognize that this is old history for Native Americans, that this is something that our government has done before, they did it to the natives, they did it to the Japanese, and now they are doing it to our neighbors to the south. We share a common history with Mexico, a very common history with Mexico. They're our neighbors. They're just as much our neighbors as Canada, and we are treating them like garbage right now. And not just that, the people who are fleeing the death and destruction that the United States has caused in Central America and South America, trying to get away from those warlike conditions to come here, and after the harrowing journey, they are captured and separated. So we are down here at the ICE facility, 4310 Macadam, Southwest Macadam. It's right by the riverfront. The South Riverfront. Let me show you everyone where we are. So this is where we are. This is the ICE facility. We've got families down here. We've got lots of people holding it down. We've got supplies. We've got a vigil going. We've got plenty of supplies. Come down here, lend your support. We've got people on the highway holding signs. People in front. We need your help. We need to stand up. As a city, we need to stand up as a society, and we need to demand that this does not continue. Ted Wheeler, where the hell are you? If you are an advocate for these immigrants, why aren't you down here right now? Where is the city council? Where are the politicians who claim that this is a sanctuary city. Why aren't they down here fighting for it? Get down here. Ted, why are you leasing this building to ICE? Sanctuary city. Why are you permitting them to function on city property? This is not okay. Shut it down. We need to get out of this. We need to break this lease. We need to come down here and surround ICE. This is the only thing that we can do. This is a federally implemented thing. So our local officials, our state representatives, they can't do anything. They're stuck. Their hands are tied, literally. The only thing they can do is come down here and stand with us. They're working on it. They're trying to find ways. But right now, the people who need your help are the people who are fighting for immigrant rights, the people who are fighting to make sure that these families know where their children are, the people who are fighting to make sure that these families have access to clergy and have access to the resources they need. There's lots of organizations doing that. Portland Immigrants' Rights Coalition, the Interfaith Movement for Immigrant Justice. There are all of these organizations who are doing something. You need to get plugged in, you need to help out, and please come down here. We need bodies, we need people to hold it down in the day, we need people to stay the night. And the big thing, we're doing something at 8:30 every single night. We're going to surround the front, hold candles, and have a vigil every night. This has to happen. We need Portland to come down here. We need you guys to come down and show these people when they come in and when they come out that we are out here, that they are not alone, that we are going to stand with them, that we are going to stay here with them until this is taken care of. Come down here, show these people what real Americans should be. And when I say real Americans, I don't mean the bullshit real Americans. I'm talking about what we have become, an America, and Americans who acknowledge that we come from a horrible past, and Americans who are willing to fight like hell to make up for it. Please get down here. Please show your support. We've got so many people here already, walking up and down, doing the rounds. People aren't stopping. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We're staying here until ICE is either gone from this facility, which Ted Wheeler has the option to do that. Our city council has the option to do that. They can get rid of ICE. All they have to do is end the lease. If they have spines, I don't care what the penalties are. I don't care what it is. There are children sitting in cages. What more motivation do they need to take action? Come down here, make a ruckus at City Hall, make a ruckus downtown, come down and join us. Come create a siege around this building. We'll light up candles, we're gonna stand in prayer. We're taking the lead that the first Americans did last year, where you surround an area in prayer. You work for it prayerfully, and that's what we're doing here. And when we have the numbers, you bet your ass we're gonna blockade this building, and we're gonna make sure that they don't fuck around anymore. We need to take a stand. Come down here, let's build on our numbers. Let's make sure that City Hall knows that we are not going to stand for it, that Portland is not going to stand for it, and we need to make sure that City Hall ends this lease to this building, because this crime can't keep going. It cannot keep going. How many more families are we going to allow to be ripped apart when we can take action? Come down here. It's a beautiful day. The sun's up, but we've got sunscreen. I said candles, tons of water. Thank you, sweetheart. We've got lemonade, we've got pad thai, thanks to so many people bringing stuff down. We've got Powerade. There, we've got Gestapo! Shame, shame, shame! We've got cars coming in and out. Make sure to take a look at them. Make sure to document it. We've got Cop Watch down here as well, documenting what's going on. So we need your help. We need you to come down here and join us. This is a fight for all Portlanders. This is our city. This is our city. We need you to come help. We need to shut down the Gestapo. They are tearing families apart. This is the deportation industrial complex. We need to shut this agency down. Come down, take a stand. Vigil tonight at 8:30. Be down here. When we have the numbers, if you come down here, if we can, this is up to you. This literally, the success or failure of this action is going to be up to you right now watching this. How many people can you get on board? How much time can you dedicate? Come down here. If we occupy this facility, if we surround it and we mean business, City Hall will act. It's up to you to make that happen. They're not going to act on their own. That's not what politicians do. We've got to tell them that there is no other option, that this is the only option, that we are not going to stand for it, and that we are going to raise hell. It worked before, it will work again. When we started last year following the lead of indigenous leaders who were fighting the Dakota Access Pipeline, when we followed their example and we did the occupations like they told us to do, and we maintained on that level, when we followed the Native lead, we won. Portland has divested with the work of so many organizations following the lead of Native Americans. Nazi! Shame! Gestapo! Shame! 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 Nazi! Gestapo! Shame! Shame! Gestapo! Oh! Here they are! Shame! Shame! Gestapo! Shame! 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 Gestapo! Shame! 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 Geotransport. Who the fuck owns that company?
We're gonna pop out to Dollar Tree real quick.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So you can get back fast. So.
Thank you.
What do you want on my section?
Direct Action Alliance. Please come down here. We've got people arriving by the minute, by the hour. They need to know that this city is not going to stand for it. When these parents arrive who have been stripped from their families, when these people arrive here, they need to see Portland down here. They need to see you down here fighting for them. Every time they come in here, do you understand how hopeless the situation is? If you have children, do you understand what it's like to not be around them, to have them taken from you? That's what's happened to these people. And every day they drive in and out of these streets and they don't see Americans fighting back. They don't see you doing something. When they come through here, they need to see the community out here fighting. And they need to know that when we have the numbers, we are going to do something about this. But getting the numbers is up to you. Please come down here. We have so many dedicated fighters right now. Down here, making a difference, letting these people know that they are not alone. But the only way they aren't going to be alone is if you show up to make sure that they are not alone. This is the facility. We're holding it down right here. No matter what they do, we are going to hold this. We are going to hold this position. We are going to stay here. We are going to fight this. We are going to make sure that every single immigrant, refugee, asylum seeker that comes through in one of those caged cars, we're going to make sure that they know that this city is here standing up for them. Every time one of these Gestapo agents comes through here, they need to know that we are documenting who they are, what their cars look like. We need to fight back. At what point are we going to say enough is enough? At what point? Because if it isn't now, when is it? How much farther are we going to let it go? They are building internment camps on the border. We can't all march on Washington, D.C. We can't all march to the border, but we can surround the ICE facilities in our own cities. We can let every single immigrant, refugee, and asylum seeker know that they are not alone. Every time they come in, every time they come out, they need to know that whatever city they're in, that there are people who are with them, that they are not alone, that their plight isn't for nothing, that there are people fighting for them. Come down here, fight with us. We need to fight back. We need the city down here. Get down here, please. Thank you to everyone who came down yesterday. We need you here every day. Come down. We need your help. Your city needs you. Your community needs you. And all of these thousands of real Americans, indigenous Americans. These borders, these are all fake. These are all implemented by the white man, by the colonizers. There shouldn't be. Come out here. Support us. We need your help. CHINGA la MIGRA.